I went around a little bend up there and got off that tread and tried to go up, get off of it, and it was sand. I'd take about 3 steps and slide back 2. And pretty soon, get out! I looked back and all I could see was gun barrels pointing at me. I just stuck my hands up and I said, American, Megwai. And sat down and kind of wiggled my heels and slid right down, right in front of them. They'd have shot me in a heartbeat. I just sat there. And they mumbled something, you know. One of them got a hold of me, began to pull on me a little bit, so I got up, still had my hands up, and they searched me thoroughly. Anyway, they took me down there and they tied me up. I asked the Chinese for something to do, and I started cutting out this chest set. I cut these out and it took me a long time. I cut them out and I brought them home. I made it Christmas time and Camp 4. We had a lot more freedom there. We had barracks to sleep in. This had been once a place where they trained their troops. They used a lot of soybeans. They used soybeans for protein. They didn't have meat over there. All the meat was dogs, and that had already been ate up. They didn't have any oxen. And by the way, dog meat ain't too bad. I tell you what, it ain't. Hell, even a damn old cat. I killed a cat one day and roasted him up there by the fire, and we ate him. When I was captured, I had a pair of wool green liners, and they fit inside of a leather glove. I saw this one dude there was nervous, and I saw him take my gloves off. I was not close enough, but I could see him turn around and he was doing something. I said, well, hell, you stole my gloves. So I just started walking up there. I said, give me my gloves, and when he saw me, he grabbed to get that rifle. Well, when he grabbed that belt, I grabbed 2 fingers like this right here, and the other guard was up there telling me, showing me that they had their gun was loaded, and I didn't care. I kept saying, give me my gloves. You stole my gloves. All of a sudden, my God, here was, what are you doing? Release that soldier. I looked running. Here was a little old dude, black boots on, a little gun on his side with a belt that come around and went around this way with a gun over here. He spoke better English than I did. This Chinese did. I don't know where he come from. And I told him, I said, this soldier stole my gloves yesterday. He said, what'd you say? I told him the whole about yesterday. And he turned and Mayola. Now, that's no, and Chinese no. And I'm telling you, he was as stiff as a board. That soldier was, you know, and he said he didn't steal your gloves, and he did. I told him what the gloves looked like. That I got an RPC stamped in white paint right here on both of them. I said, they're in his pocket there. And he said something, and that Mayola. He said, he doesn't have your gloves. I said, he does. I said, I saw him take them off, and they're in his pockets. He said, you're wrongly shooting a Chinese soldier, and he said, you will have to be severely punished. I said, before you shoot me, make him take out what's in his pocket. So he pointed over there, and Mayola, and then he kind of reached down there and done that way, and this soldier began to very slowly pull that glove out. As soon as he got out, he jerked it out and looked at it. And he got that one. He said, these your gloves? I said, yes, sir. He said, I'm very sorry this happened. He said, Chinese do not steal and they do not lie. And the other 3 guys walked up there and marched his ass right up there and shot him deader than a doornail. Cold turkey. It was 19 of us, 2 colored, some British, and Americans. And little old Shorty, we called him Shorty. He was a little chunky little rascal, a little Chinese. Here everybody had been brought out by some North Koreans. 3 or 4 soldiers had found out that there was Americans down there, so they had went down there and had made everybody come up. And like I said, there was 2 colored. Well, a lot of these people had never seen a colored person, and a lot of them haven't ever seen an American. And here we were, we got up there, and I run and got Shorty. Shorty was laying back there asleep. I woke him up, and I said, I grabbed my damn gun, and he had these clips in a velvet cloth, and I grabbed that and give it a jerk. That's what he'd do, give it a jerk, and it would unroll. He'd unroll it, so he stuck a couple in him and put one in the gun, and up the steps we got up there. When he got up there, he loaded that puppy and boom! And I mean to tell you, he got some attention real quick like. All the Koreans were gone except the soldiers. And he just absolutely tried his best to beat them to death with their own guns. We ain't good. We were every time we'd go somewhere, he'd make me carry his tummy gun. Now, I didn't have no clips in it, don't get me wrong. But he'd take, and hell, we didn't care. We'd walk. I wasn't about to do anything wrong. I didn't know where I was at to begin with, and Jesus God, it's no use committing suicide. It's too much, traffic.
Convoys pass on a Korean road. One carries Reds to an unknown fate, the other United Nations men to freedom. As the exchange machinery gathers momentum, Red officers come forward to deliver another consignment of UN prisoners to the custody of Allied officials, a total of 684.
We knew we were going to get released. We'd got word we were going to get released. But anyway, that morning, we all fell in, and we were loaded on trucks. Wasn't very many of us. Well, anyway, they went down. We drove for quite a ways, and we got out. And there we are standing kind of in a line. And the Chinese, there was Americans over here and Chinese on this side. And as your name is called, you walk up to this line. The Chinese calls your name, and you walk up to this line. And then this American calls your name, and when he does, then you step over the line.